ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Monday Night Raw review from November 2nd, 2015. Now, to give you guys some of my personal opinion, I do apologize about not doing Monday Night Raw review from last week in October, on October 26th. But I was a little busy with the WWE 2K16 game, as I mentioned in my last video yesterday. But here's the thing. The last two Raws have been pretty decent. Last week's Raw was really good. This week's Raw was pretty okay. It was a little bit down in comparison to the Raw of last week. But here's the thing. This Raw would have been great if it was a 2-hour episode. The only issue I had with this Raw was the second hour, in the 9 o'clock hour of Monday Night Raw. There was a lot of boring, dull, stale segments that occurred throughout that entire hour that I just really wasn't into. And even in the 10 o'clock hour for about 30 minutes until they got to the main event, which was a pretty decent and good main event, except for the ending. I didn't really kind of like that. I was expecting a little bit more out of it, but I'll get more into detail on that. But starting things off, we went ahead, we had a promo done by Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, pretty much hyping up their match that obviously was going to occur at Survivor Series of this month, and it's going to be for the WWE Championship. Personally, I think in this kind of sense, really, I think that this match could have been waited on, possibly, and had a big main event match with the Survivor Series with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Instead of having this occur on Monday Night Raw, this should have been happening on the Survivor Series pay-per-view, because the Survivor Series pay-per-view is based on traditional Survivor Series elimination matches. I don't think that this match is going to be bad whatsoever. I think these two guys are going to put on a decent show. These guys haven't faced each other whatsoever yet, because of they were supposed to face each other last year at Night of Champions, but unfortunately Roman Reigns had a hernia injury that kept him out of action. So I'm really looking forward to this match. I think they're doing a decent job, slowly but surely building these two guys up. And doing a pretty decent job with it, unlike what they've done with the other matches building up to the pay-per-views with Seth Rollins with his championship. So, I mean, I'm very impressed by this. I feel a little bit confident that this match is going to turn out to be really well and have a decent build. The Authority comes out, they mention that these two guys are going to face at Survivor Series, and there's going to be a traditional tag team elimination 5-on-5 match. So, okay, big deal. It was just a pretty standard, normal promo, nothing special here. We moved on to the very first match, which was Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. I was very impressed by this match. I think that the little build they're doing with Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler's pretty good. I really wish that they would change Tyler Breeze's character up a little bit. I don't particularly like it. I think his in-ring work is going to be excellent, because I have seen him on NXT, and he's an outstanding wrestler. So one thing about Tyler Breeze, don't judge his book by its cover, because if you judge just based on the character and not about the in-ring performance, if you haven't seen him wrestle yet, you missed a lot. You're missing out on a lot here, because Tyler Breeze is not a guy who's just this gay kind of character that shows a feminine, but he is a really good wrestler, and that's where makes him unique. Even though his character I don't like, his action and work ethic is unbelievable. It is like Dolph Ziggler. I think these two are going to make a great combination match here at Survivor Series. I truly believe they maybe should do a Survivor Series match with these two guys and build their own teams. And then also the other Survivor Series match being with the Undertaker and Kane versus the Wyatt family. Get two more partners for Undertaker and Kane to go in a 4-on-4 traditional Survivor Series matchup. So I think that is pretty good. I'm more than likely leaning towards the idea that, Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler are just going to have a normal one-on-one match. There's only going to be one Survivor Series match that's going to occur on this card, which I'm not, against. I think that maybe they should just center and focus on one Survivor Series match, because many years they have gone ahead and focused a lot on just a bunch of different Survivor Series matches. But at that time, they had a really great roster. They had a lot of good competitors that could compete in these Survivor Series matches. One that had the most was 2006 Survivor Series, which is actually one of my favorites besides a few other ones. But this one, that pay-per-view had 3 different Survivor Series matches, a shitload of other great names, and some decent wrestlers as well that were thrown in some of the other Survivor Series matches that they had going on there. This one, it's got to be focused on one specific one, and of course it's going to be surrounded with the Wyatt family versus the Brothers of Destruction, and their 2 partners that they happen to end up recruiting for this match. Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler, definitely a good match. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I think that it would have been a little bit better if it was a bit longer, but hey, you know what? Who cares? It was a good match overall. The next match after that was Cesaro and Miz. I really can't understand what the fuck they're doing Cesaro and Miz for. They keep hinting Stardust on the side, in the audience, doing Stardust section, which I don't even understand. I don't know what the hell they're doing here. What is this, a pre-show Survivor Series match with Stardust and the 2 Goons squad of the Ascension versus Cesaro and whatever team he can scrap up with? I mean, this seems just a little pathetic. I don't like where they're going with this. There's nothing going on here. There's really no interaction outside of mocking Cesaro with the Cesaro section signs. There was no purpose behind this. It's really pointless. The match itself was pointless too. I think Cesaro's in-ring work against Miz was great, but thank God it was only 5 minutes long and not any longer than that. Because I can't stomach the Miz. I don't even see the Miz's purpose of being on this fucking roster anymore. He has no reason or purpose to even be there at all. The next thing after that was we went ahead and we move on to the second hour, which is the shittiest fucking hour of that whole thing. The Lucha Dragons defeating King Barrett and Sheamus. Now, I recently just watched a video from JD from New York of 206, and I have to say, I like a lot of what he says, a lot of his thoughts and opinions, because I kind of share pretty much the same thing, and I have to agree with him. Like, this King of the Ring thing is a fucking joke. Where was the purpose of doing this? They brought no value into it. I even mentioned months ago, R-Truth came out mocking the King of the Ring winner and all that. And it's just like, the WWE storyline-wise decided, let's just piss all over the idea that we went ahead and created that had a meaningful purpose, or at least jump-started a superstar's career in some sort of fashion to build on to eventually become a World Heavyweight Champion. And here, it just was not there. I mean, you had the Bret Harts, you had fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, all of these guys that won, outside of Billy Gunn, all of them that won went on later on in their future of their career, became something, became a world champion, a main eventer of some kind, and did something with their career. King Barrett has done... Wade Barrett has done nothing since he's won this King of the Ring. This should have been his calling card of doing bigger and better things, and all he's doing is playing around with sideshow clowns and being a jobber to everybody. The Lucha Dragons, I have to say, they are a very talented team, but the one-sided domination by Sheamus and Wade Barrett just bored me to hell. I just went ahead, put on my headphones, listened to some music on YouTube, and that was it. I didn't even give a rat's ass about watching this match because it was just a one-sided affair. And then on top of it, to make things worse, you make King Barrett and Sheamus lose to these two guys. Not saying that that's a bad thing, but it should have been back and forth action. This was a one-sided ass whooping. I did not find any rhyme or reason to watch this shit for this match. And another thing, Sheamus, what the fuck are they doing with this guy? He's the briefcase owner that could be a world champion, and he ain't doing nothing. They might as well piss and shit all over the briefcase on that one too, and wipe their ass with the so-called WWE World Heavyweight contract with it. I mean, this is just fucking retarded. You make a guy become the briefcase winner and you don't do nothing with him. They should have just made Roman Reigns win that damn briefcase in the first place. I mean, he was the best option, number one. Number two, he was a guy who was screwed over against Seth Rollins against Brock Lesnar, and he got pinned 1, 2, 3. What better way to get even and get revenge on Seth Rollins than cashing in on him and winning the damn belt from him? I mean, that would be the best option, and instead they go with Sheamus. What the fuck is that? Okay, they go with Sheamus. I was cool with that because I actually mentioned that Sheamus would be the secondary guy to possibly win it. Because at that time they were pushing him the right way. Now they're pushing him in the complete opposite direction. I don't even understand this fucking bullshit. It's pathetic. That's all I have to say on that. Then we get Bray Wyatt. He goes ahead and cuts a promo. They are trying so hard, the WWE, to push Bray Wyatt down our throats in the fashion of like The Undertaker and Kane. This whole thing between Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family, and the Kane and Undertaker is just stating that they are making a new Undertaker type character with Bray Wyatt. Why try to recapture something that you're never going to be able to get? You cannot take what you originally did with The Undertaker and even Kane himself and put it in one character and be able to recapture that. You can't. He is not that type of character. The way they had him out when he first came into WWE is the right way, and they were doing that most of the time. And now they're trying to slowly transform this guy's character into like a super being. And I think that's retarded, because they had him the right way. He was his own type of character, original character, a Charles Manson character. That's what Bray Wyatt's gimmick was. He was a Charles Manson character, and it made sense. It was legitimately his own gimmick. It was his thing he created with WWE's help, giving him that kind of image. And now they're trying to alter and change his image, still keeping the Charles Manson in there, but giving him the touch of The Undertaker and Kane. No, man, you don't do that. He doesn't need to be the next Undertaker and Kane. He needs to be the new and different character on your program. Bray Wyatt, that's who he needs to be. And you're trying to make him and recapture what they used to have with Undertaker and Kane, and it ain't gonna work. It's not believable, it's not catchy, it's not cool, it's bullshit. What they had him doing and been doing is the Charles Manson gimmick, and that works for him because of what he has. And now they're trying to make him like the Ministry of Darkness, and it's just fucking retarded. It really doesn't make any sense, and it's fucking dumb as shit. But anyway, that's just my opinion. The segment with Bray Wyatt was downright stupid. I didn't find it all that entertaining. It was just the same old shit. Nothing intriguing about this whatsoever. We then had Del Rio go one-on-one against R-Truth. Before this, we had Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio and Zeb Coulter. And this was kind of a nice little touch. I think you're going to see a slow but sure build. They might be in a Survivor Series type of matchup, possibly. They might do 1 or 2 Survivor Series matches. I'm not quite sure. They'll probably have a really great Survivor Series type of match, and then a shitty Survivor Series type of match with a bunch of jobbers going at it at one time, probably in the beginning of the show, or before the show even begins, like pre-show. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I mean, their thing with Jack Swagger and Del Rio, I kind of was a little intrigued by. I think it's a nice little touch to throw Jack Swagger back in the mix, making logical sense of everything because of the fact that Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger have a history together, and Jack Swagger's just like kind of like representing the audience, like going, "I'm confused. Why are you with him? I mean, you used to hate each other." So that makes a lot of sense. I think that's a nice little touch by WWE and a nice little way of bringing Jack Swagger back into the WWE TV programming on the main roster. So I wasn't disappointed by that. Del Rio defeated R-Truth in a very short match. I don't know why the fuck they had R-Truth face Del Rio. They could have had a lot better opponent for him, but whatever, who gives a shit. Match wasn't that bad. It was okay. I mean, it was nothing to cry home about. Paige defeating Becky Lynch, Brie Bella, and Sasha Banks. Thank God Brie Bella did not win this match. I was kind of hoping Sasha Banks would have won it, but makes logical sense that Paige won. Nice, decent 13-minute match. Very entertaining, and it was somewhat good. I definitely give this match a 3 out of 5 stars. And then the main event with Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Ryback, and the Usos facing Seth Rollins, The New Day, of all 3 members, and Kevin Owens was a good match. Like I said, the main event was a decent match. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Would have been a 4 if the fucking ending would have been a lot better. I mean, seriously, the ending was bullshit. The same old typical Seth Rollins running away, scared off his ass, worried he's gonna lose, and he should have just went in and balls in and all out and just tried to beat both of their asses. I seriously think, like I mentioned on my first episode of my personal opinion episode, they need to tease the idea that these 3 guys, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, will be competing for this World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania in a triple threat match. I think it's a great main event. I think it's a great idea for young talent to have the main event spot and these guys to carry this show. And I think that these 3 guys could carry the show to good heights at this pay-per-view like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns did, with Seth Rollins added into it later on. I feel that these 3 guys may be young, they may not be as well established as a Brock Lesnar, an Undertaker, or a Rock, or a Triple H, but they are great young stars in this company right now, and you gotta give these 3 guys the reins to run all rampant crazy at WrestleMania's main event for that WWE World Championship. That's all I have to say on that. I truly believe that a lot of people agree with me that this World Championship match, if you're going to keep the belt on Seth Rollins and have these 3 guys go at it at WrestleMania, that would be all worth it just to watch Seth Rollins carry the belt till WrestleMania and lose it to either Dean Ambrose or Roman Reigns. More than likely Roman Reigns, since they've been building so hard on the idea that Roman Reigns is going to win. But, that's just my comments and opinions and my thoughts on all of this. Decent show. Could have been better if it was cut down shorter. I think a 2-hour show would have done it justice, and it would have been a decent show if it was just that. But, okay show nonetheless. Leave your comments and opinions down below. I'd be more than happy to answer back to anything you guys have to say. Hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Have a great day, guys. Bye.